what's going on, everybody? Great to be with y'all on a Thursday. PTL Nation. Of course, we're on the YouTube Super Chat, YouTube page, at PTL Radio Show. We're on the Facebook fan page, the Pushing the Limits fan page. We're on X. We're on Twitch. We're everywhere, man. And, of course, the FM AM station. We appreciate you guys being part of the show today. A lot to get to. We're going to have Adam Mockler's official debate prep coach joining us here in just a few minutes. It's interesting because we're going to play some audio today. Donald Trump really focusing on the things that matter to America. Today, he was talking about the ballroom, about the reflecting pool, and then sharing his grievances again about election integrity and all this other stuff. So we'll get to that. He also said we have complete control of the Strait of Hormuz. Interesting. I don't think that's what's going on out there. We'll talk about that as well. But joining me right now to start the show, I love his work. He's got a great YouTube page. He's a political commentator, and he does a great job. Political streamer. He's known as I'm Really Important on social media, which he is, by the way. I know he's being funny about it, but he is. Guy Cohen joining us right now on the program. Guy, it's great to see you, my friend. How are you?
Yo, Brian, thanks for having me back, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you again, my friend. I have to ask you this to start. What went through your mind when you heard about this slush fund, this $1.7 billion that apparently is going to be paid out to a bunch of criminals, some of whom beat police officers on January 6th?
Well, sounds like the greatest act of corruption our nation has ever seen. Trump is going to reward people for breaking the law on his behalf. Now, from what I've read, this is unprecedented because usually you have to sue the government to try to get money from them when you've been wronged. But in this case, he's just going to dole it out to anybody. And the transparency is ridiculous, too. They're just going to provide like quarterly reports and not say who exactly got money. It seems like a big mess. I'd be surprised that it even survives. Even with the Republicans backing Trump up, I could see them getting cold feet.
I mean, do you agree with me that Republicans on Capitol Hill should be asked this question every single day? This story should not go away, and they should be pushed on it every single day because I feel like that's the only way it does go away.
Absolutely. I mean, their constituents are already pushing back. I mean, it's ridiculous that they're making jokes like Hunter Biden should apply. Well, I don't think so. Like, I don't think he should participate in this farce. We shouldn't reward people for breaking the law. I mean, the amount of money is astronomical. $1.8 billion. That's crazy, man. Plus the little carve outs for Trump that, oh, by the way, he can't be audited by the IRS moving for stuff that he's filed in the past.
I say this every day, Guy. Like, imagine if Joe Biden did this. Imagine if Barack Obama had some sort of deal with the IRS that he and his family would never, could never be investigated by the IRS. They'd still be talking about it today. And by the way, Barack Obama released his tax returns. So did everybody else in American history, except for Donald Trump. And nobody on the right is certainly covering this story. Even like CNN and MSNBC, they're not extensively covering this.
No, I mean, it is wild that the president can escape audits. I mean, that's something we've been doing for a long time. As far as I know, the president always gets audited, though it was revealed in Trump's first term that the IRS only opened up, I think, one audit and just started it in 1 year. So they failed miserably. But no, Trump should not be exempt from his past tax returns, nor his businesses, by the way, or his children from being audited. I mean, how ridiculous. Who could stand for that?
And speaking of ridiculous, and I'm going to get into this a little bit later on in the show, but Donald Trump once again obsessed with this ballroom, talking about the reflecting pool. And he said today, quote, "We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz." What's your response to that?
Dude, this is going nowhere, man. It is a stalemate. We're a nuclear power. How in the world is it a draw with Iran? I mean, these guys are more powerful than they were before the war started, right? Crazier people in control, controlling the Strait of Hormuz, no sanctions on their oil, still have their nuclear dust, as Trump calls it. What has changed? I mean, I think the rest of the world is preparing for Iran to become a superpower in the Mideast because of this. But yeah, I'm not seeing any movement. I just see Trump claims that he did not attack them earlier in the week, but you know, nobody else seems to back him up on these claims. He's like debating with himself as usual.
Yeah, and when you look at where the economy is at right now, let's talk a little bit about that. Gas prices. I just paid $5.10 a gallon. I think gas prices are close to $4.60 a gallon on average. It's insane. Then you look at what took place last month when the numbers came out about inflation, up 0.6%. Everything virtually headed in the wrong direction. At what point can they just stop blaming Joe Biden?
Never, Brian. Come on, man. They're going to use that till the end of Trump's term. But yeah, the other alarming thing about this month's inflation report was that wages are now being eclipsed by inflation. So that's exactly what happened under Biden. For 2 years, inflation was higher than wage growth, and that's where people really get their teeth kicked in. So I think a lot of pain is coming here, and Trump keeps hand waving it as it's a couple of cents, it's peanuts, it's not a big deal. But
Right.
I think it's hurting people, man, and he's not dealing with it appropriately.
We know it is. I agree with you. I look at where MAGA is at right now, and you look at somebody like Thomas Massey. I would imagine you and we agree politically on probably almost everything. And listen, I disagreed with Massey on the way he voted on a number of different things. He's a very conservative guy. However, I do give him credit for being on the right side of history when it comes to the Epstein stuff, right? So I believe that's the number one main reason why he lost. I wanted to get your thoughts on that because it seems to me that if you're a pedophile protector, Donald Trump will back you. And if you're not, he'll call you a lunatic and crazy names and he'll back somebody else.
Well, this seems like the only thing that Trump is good at is consolidating power and vanquishing his enemies from within his own party. But it doesn't change anything for the general election. In fact, this was a win-win for us, no matter what happened. If Massey stayed, great. He's a thorn in Trump's side. He'll continue to be a problem. If he goes, then, he's going to turn into Tom Tillis 2.0, joining the haters caucus with Bill Cassidy, who lost his primary re-election last week. And the numbers just keep growing. And I think these guys are going to start to make a lot of noise, realizing their careers are over and they want to leave this country a better place. So all Trump has done is create a giga hater out of Thomas Massey, who he said at his own concession speech, I did a lot in the last 6 months, including what you just said. He passed the most bipartisan bill we've seen in recent history. The Epstein Files Transparency Act basically passed 100-0 in the Senate, and only one person voted against it in the entire House. So this guy did something phenomenal. And he said, I'm going to use the next 7 months to do even more.
Yeah. I look at, I look at the next 2.5 years and I say to myself, look at where we're at now, a year and a half into this administration. Where are we going to be at in a year from now? Where are we going to be at 2 years from now? And it's daunting, for lack of a better term. Where do you think this country is at, both from an economic perspective, from the war? Obviously, I hope the war in Iran is over by then, but where do you think this country is at a couple of years from now?
Well, I think inflation is going to start to go up here if the Federal Reserve doesn't raise interest rates. Can you imagine? Trump just got his new guy in there, Kevin Warsh, to lower interest rates. But because of his ridiculous war in Iran, unnecessary war in Iran, now they're probably going to have to raise interest rates. So I think people are going to suffer financially for a while now. I mean, there's another report that mortgage rates just hit an 8-month high. The mortgage rate haven't been this high since August of last year. So life is not getting more affordable. And I agree with you. This war could easily go into next year, just kind of like as a weird stalemate where that's just going to cause more problems financially for us and the whole world. So it's definitely not going to get better, Brian. I know that much.
Unfortunately, I agree with you. I wish I didn't agree with you, but I do.
Sure.
I think it's just only going to get worse and worse. But hey, Guy, the midterms are right around the corner, right? People have to do their job. They have to go to the polls. They have to vote. And then we'll see what happens in the presidential elections. There's a lot of time between now and then, but the midterms are really important, right? I mean, they're right around the corner.
Yeah. And I want to tell people out there that even with everything the Supreme Court has done with the Voting Rights Act and the Supreme Court in Virginia striking down the new maps, we are still headed towards victory. I do not want people to lose sight of that. I'll just say quickly, in Virginia, we were already probably going to win 2 of the 5 seats the Republicans hold, because there's an R+3 and then there's an even district. And so it's at most, we probably are going to miss out on 1 seat that we could have got with the new maps. And Republicans might get up to 12 seats with the redistricting in the South. But there are 17 Republican-held seats in the House that were won by 5% or less. So I think those are automatically going to go to us, and I think we can do way better than that. So I'm not sweating it. I agree with you. We need to stay focused, but I just want people to know that this doesn't really change much for the outcome of the midterms. And then when Democrats get into power, I think you're going to start to see a shift, because the media doesn't pay attention to the party in the minority. You know this very well, Brian. Like you do not get any interviews. They don't give a damn what you have to say. But once you're in power, and if Democrats control at least the House, maybe even the Senate, now that Ken Paxton has been nominated, which we can talk about, then the media is really going to give the Democrats a lot more attention, and they'll be able to drive the narrative. They'll probably create like the Epstein Files Select Committee, like the January 6th Select Committee, and shine a bright light on all this stuff Trump is doing.
When you mentioned Ken Paxton's name, who is just an absolute scumbag, and then I see Scott Pressler standing next to him, that buffoon, I can't help but just laugh at all this stuff, right? These characters and these horrific human beings. I mean, I couldn't find a bigger right-wing grifter than Scott Pressler, who, in my opinion, has zero credibility. Not even the people who are helping him and finding money for him to travel the country are doing it anymore. And now I learned that 75% of the money he's getting is from Turning Point, which is another disaster. I don't think Turning Point will be around a couple years from now. But what do you make of those two standing side by side with one another, Ken Paxton and Scott Pressler?
Well, seems like Scott Pressler's the kiss of death lately. His endorsements haven't been working out so well. But boy, Ken Paxton is so corrupt that his own senior staff turned him in. In Texas, they turned him in. And his own Texas Republicans in the state house impeached him as a Republican in statewide office in Texas. Think about how much of a corrupt criminal you have to be. So this is just gold for us on the left, okay? John Cornyn's not that much better, right? Like, it seems like an okay guy, but he'll vote with Trump on everything. He was all for the Save America Act. But look, Ken Paxton on the ballot increases Tallarico's odds, which are already looking pretty good already. So I'm thrilled to see Trump endorse Ken Paxton. Plus, they have to keep spending money and fighting for longer. It's a win-win, again, just like the Thomas Massey situation. Win-win for us. I agree. And you mentioned Tallarico. I love that guy. I think he's great. And I think one day he might be a president. I think he's that good. Guy, I think you're that good. I know you call yourself, I'm really important as kind of like being facetious and funny, but I think you are. I think what you do, is really important. I love your work. Can you please give out that information for our listeners, how people can follow you on the socials and watch your podcast? Well, you're too kind, Brian. I appreciate you, man. I have a lot of admiration for you fighting in the trenches as well. But people can come follow me on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok under the same handle. I'm really important. I debate in the morning for a few hours, and then the evening I come on and just hang out with people on the left and talk about what's going on in the news, watching videos and stuff like that. So Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, just search "I'm really important," all one word, and I'd love to see you guys out there. Yeah, Guy, keep up the great work, my friend. Like I said, I love what you do, and we'll have you on again soon, my friend. Love the commentary. Keep it up, and I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend, okay? Hell yeah. Thanks, Brian. You too, bro. Thanks, Guy. Take care. That's Guy Cohen, everybody. Very popular political streamer. I'm really important. So for those of you that might be a little unaware, we've had some pretty big guests on this show the last few weeks. I used to get really big guests on the right, and they seem few and far between these days. They don't want to come on. They don't want to debate. They don't want to talk about Donald Trump. They don't want to try to defend his record. But over the course of the last few weeks, right? Yesterday, we had Destiny on the show. We had Luke Beasley on the show last week. We had Adam Mockler. And I keep saying, like, Adam Mockler has some pretty intelligent people around him. Well, the guy we have in studio right now, he's a political commentator and consultant. You might have seen him on MSNBC. He's also Adam Mockler's personal debate coach. So you know he's got to be doing something right. Micah Irfan is joining us right now in studio. Micah, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Great to be with you, Brian. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody what you're doing in Vegas first?
Well, I'm here to have a debate on Sean Kelly's show, debate another right-winger. We'll see if they actually want to defend Trump this time. But we've had the same experience, me and you, about Republicans who don't want to defend their own party.
So give people a little bit of background on you. Obviously, you know, you're good friends with Adam Mockler, and what's it like? I'm curious to like coach a guy like Adam Mockler before he goes on like a CNN panel, which I would imagine you've done. What is that experience?
Yeah,
like?
I mean, it's about, forming a coherent narrative. And trying to find unique ways to attack a problem. We look at all of the frameworks being used by high-profile liberal commentators, and we don't want to sound like them. We want to bring in something unique, and I think that's one of the reasons why our clips go so viral. So I'm really happy about that. And also, apart from that, I'm also a law student, and
you got a lot going on.
yeah. I wear a lot of hats. It keeps me entertained.
Well, sitting next to this guy makes me look really stupid, but I guess some people on the right would say sitting next to anybody makes me look really stupid. So go figure. But no, you're a really smart dude. And Adam Mockler, his success, I'm really happy for him. He's a great guy. I know we both agree with that. And I've known Adam for years also. And seeing him all over CNN and all over these networks and just destroying MAGA on a daily basis, little different style than what I do. And I just think what he does is so great. And I just think we need more people like him, but they're few and
Absolutely.
far between.
Yeah.
There's only one Adam Mockler, right? But when you see him destroying Scott Jennings to the point where Jennings swears on the air and just completely loses it and acts like an 8-year-old. What's going through your mind when you see that?
I mean, he's literally changed his whole entire approach. If you look at what Scott Jennings says now, he's like, I don't want to, offend anybody, but here's just my personal opinion. Like, he's become more polite because he got smacked down by Adam, and he realized that he looked like a, whining toddler. I'm
Because
pretty
that's
sure
what he is.
CNN producers came up to him, they're like, dude, why are you getting mad at, like, cussing at somebody? This is
He
ridiculous.
didn't even have his hand in his face. That was such a weird
Get your hand out of it. Come on, dude. Like this is the thing about right wingers. They can always dish it out, but they can't take it. All these Trump supporters are lecturing us about how we're impolite. We need to respect the president, tone down your rhetoric. These people need to shut up. I mean, it's like you guys dish it out all day.
Yep.
We give it back to you just a little bit, and they melt down.
Micah, I'm the perfect example of that.
That's
I match their energy. I call them Trump mushroom gobblers. I attack them. If they go down that road, I'm happy to go down. I mean, I did that with the Wilsons, and then Andrew, next thing I know, he's making cartoons about me, and, they're obsessed with me. Why? Because I'm giving you the same energy you give me. No, I'm not going to be nice. And you know what? Maybe there's a lot of people out there that are much nicer human beings than me. That's fine. I'll take that criticism. But if you're going to go down that path with me, if you're going to say I have TDS, you have TFS, Trump fellatio syndrome. If you're going to go down that road with me and you're going to attack me on the hat I'm wearing or the looks, okay, fine. You want to go down that road? I'll go down that road too. And
right.
I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it, and I think that I'm not saying you have to do what I do. I love what you and Adam do, but I think if you're running for office, you need to be able to do a little, maybe give a little bit of what Gavin Newsom is doing. I'm not saying Gavin Newsom is perfect, but I like that. Give a little bit of pushback, fight. I think what Democrats want is they want fighters. I'm not saying you have to call people names to be a fighter, but we need more fighters in office on the left. And I think, the Chuck Schumers of the day they should be done. They should be in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, there was this saying from Michelle Obama, whenever, they go low, we go high.
Yeah.
And then Eric Holder, which was Obama's attorney general, said, whenever they go low, we should kick them. And I think that's right. And I think that, Gavin Newsom's a great example of that, but more people on our side are realizing, they can't just rig the deck against us. They can't just talk about California like it's on fire. It's the worst place ever. And then we have to ignore the fact that the highest murder states are all red states. The highest child marriage states are all red states. Highest rape, highest, poverty. Like literally every single metric shows that red states are, to be frank, crap holes compared to blue states. But we can't say that because it's not polite. I think that's finally changing, and I'm happy.
Yet he can tell members of the squad, 3 of the 4 who were born in the United States of America, to go back to your S-hole countries. He's allowed to say that, which is racist in itself. But yeah, you're right. A lot of these red states are crap holes, for lack of a better term. Right. And they want to make the case that the blue states are all the ones with all the huge problems. And you look at how big of a state California is. Sure, California has its problems, but when you look at most of the states in this country, what they're dealing with when it comes to crime rates, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to affordability, yeah, it's the red states that are ones that are having the biggest issues, not the blue states.
Absolutely. Highest inflation rate of any state in the country, not California, not Illinois, not New York, it's Florida. Does anybody ever talk about that? No, it's like a one-sided battle. They get to insult our states, insult our cities. Meanwhile, we have to ignore the fact that across every single metric, the places that are the reddest are the worst, objectively speaking.
Yeah, Ron DeSanctimonious with his sexy white boots. Yeah, again, people. Well, I had somebody call him the other day. Well, what's your problem with Ron DeSantis? I don't know. Everything. The way he's running his state, the things he says, the fact that he and his wife are involved in this scandal where they took money from people who desperately need healthcare. Like it's just insane. But speaking of which, Micah, so Donald Trump held a press conference earlier today. And in that press conference, he was asked what I think is a very poignant question about the ballroom. Why are you so focused on this ballroom? And why are you using this anti-weaponization fund, which we'll get to? I want you to listen to Donald Trump's response to this because it's insane.
Mr. President, with many Americans concerned about affordability ahead of the midterms, there is some backlash among Senate Republicans to some of the other priorities, the ballroom and the anti-weaponization fund. You clearly still have a strong hold on the Republican Party. Your candidates did very well this week during the primaries. But are you losing control
My
of the Senate?
candidates did well. Not all candidates did well.
But are you losing control of the Senate, sir? Are you losing control of the Senate Republicans?
I don't know. I really don't know. I can tell you, I only do what's right. I don't need money for the ballroom. I'm making a gift of the ballroom.
Mr. President.
Micah, did you know he only does what's right? What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who's selling pardons. I mean, we got financial disclosures recently. He was buying stocks in companies before he would tour them and publicly praise them. I mean, we're seeing like comical levels of corruption.
I only do what's right. Boy, if you could just take that quote and use it for the Democrats for a campaign ad and then talk about inflation, talk about the war in Iran, talk about this January 6th slush fund of $1.7 billion. Quote, I only do what's right.
Yeah. I mean, cheated on Melania twice within 8 months of marrying her. So yeah, I don't know if he's doing anything that's right for Americans. He's certainly not doing anything right in his personal life.
He's cheated on every woman he's ever been with and had unprotected sex with a porn star and then paid her off $130,000 in hush money. So yeah, as I've been told, $10,000 per second he spent with Stormy Daniels. Anyway, now people are vomiting their lunch when I mentioned that. But Donald Trump also focused, as I said earlier, on the ballroom. He's not talking about the Iran war. He's not talking about the economy. He's not talking about inflation. He's not talking the fact that 20 million Americans are going to be losing their health care coverage or any of that stuff. Here's Donald Trump earlier today with this obsession about the ballroom. Watch this.
If they want to spend money on securing the White House, I think it would be very, very much a good expenditure, but the ballroom is being built.
Well, what if Congress doesn't sign off on the security money?
Then the White House won't be a very secure place.
But then regarding Cuba, there was an aircraft carrier.
What is he talking about? Is the White House not secure?
Yeah,
what is he talking about?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like they have all these instances all the time where people get close to the president. It seems more like a administrative competency thing. I mean, the Trump administration's firing every single high-profile security official within the administration. Look at Pete Hegseth; he's firing all the top generals. Then they wonder like why America's not so safe anymore. It's like, well, probably because you're making us less safe.
But he's trying to make the case because of this attempted assassination on the president several weeks ago that somehow that's why we need to build the ballroom. I really don't understand that. But he went on. He continued to talk about the ballroom and how it's this huge national security issue. Watch this.
The ballroom is being a tremendous amount of what's being done with respect to the ballroom is for national security, including, as an example, a drone port on top of which was top secret until litigation made it less than top secret. But we have a drone port. We have the glass that's 4 inches thick, bulletproof glass. We have bulletproof walls. We have things. You need a place like this, but this is being made as a gift from me and other people that are great patriots that spend a lot of money. We're building what will be the finest ballroom anywhere in the world. If they want to spend money on securing the White House, I think it would be very, very much a good expenditure, but the ballroom is being built.
What is he talking about? They're asking for $1 billion from taxpayers. Republicans are trying to pass a bill so that this is all taxpayer funded. Is he still saying he's getting money from donors? What is he talking about?
Right. It was originally supposed to be $180 billion. Then it became like 350. Now it became $1 billion from taxpayers plus whatever they're going to spend. But we heard that Senate Republicans just basically said, hey, we're actually not going to fund this thing. And that's because I think they're seeing that Trump is going to take a position against all these incumbent Republicans. Look at what happened to John Cornyn. John Cornyn did everything for Trump. He went to Trump Burger. He was talking about how much he loves Trump 24/7. And what Trump do? He said, screw you. I'm going to endorse Ken Paxton, this complete psychopath. So all these incumbent Republicans are like, dude, if I'm going to do all this for you and you're not even going to guarantee an endorsement, to hell with that. I'm not going to vote for your damn ballroom.
But you know what, Micah, it gets even better because, as I mentioned, he's not really talking about the real kitchen table issues. He's talking about the reflecting pool. For whatever reason, he's still obsessed over this. So earlier today, here's Donald Trump talking about the reflecting pool, and he makes a very interesting statement about it.
My most exciting is the reflecting pool between the Washington Monument and the Washington Monument Lincoln Memorial. It's 2,500 feet long by almost 200 feet wide. It's a massive structure, if you think of it. It's taller than the tallest building in the world.
What?
If you sat the building down, the tallest building in the world would not reach the end of it. It's a very big thing. It hasn't worked properly since it was built in 1922.
How about that? It's taller than the tallest building in the world.
Yeah, it's totally incoherent. I mean, the guy ran on being a populist and actually prioritizing, things making our country better, stopping wars, helping Americans, draining the swamp. And now all he talks about is, this stupid stuff that nobody cares about. Meanwhile, literally every single economic indicator has gotten worse. Inflation, unemployment, business bankruptcies, credit card debt. I mean, conservatives, when you ask them, cannot name one thing that's actually gotten better since he's become president, other than maybe, I don't know, the stock market.
Agree. Yeah, which most Americans are not involved in. I think that's also important to note. It almost reminds me a couple days after 9/11, when the Twin Towers collapsed, and he was going on national networks bragging about, "Oh, I have the biggest building in the country now." I mean, it's just so pathetic. But so we've gone over this morning. He's talking about the reflecting pool. He's talking about the ballroom. Guess what else he brought up today? Transgenders. That's right. Another very important topic within MAGA Republicans. Watch this.
They'd never be elected again because with their policy of open borders, transgender for everyone, I call it transgender mutilization of your children for everybody, men playing in women's sports, all of the stuff that they do, high taxes.
So first of all, there are less than 10 Division I college athletes that are transgender. Number two, this was the guy who said you could drop off your kids at school and they come home another gender. This is not a top 5 issue. It's not a top 10 issue. I've debated this on national networks. It is insane how obsessed these people are. Why do they keep talking about this, Micah? Why do they keep talking about it?
Because they have no solutions to any of our problems. Like, Americans look at our government and we've said there's so many things in this country that are not working. Our national debt, healthcare, education, everything. And they don't have any solutions to those problems. Actually, they want to make those problems worse. They're in large part responsible for their existence. So what do they want to talk about? They want to talk about Muslims, like 1% of the population. They want to talk about transgender people to distract you from all of the actually substantive issues that they're making dramatically worse.
And I think we can agree a big issue, of course, is the war in Iran. Gas prices are through the roof. The economy is struggling in almost every parameter. And yet Donald Trump, in front of the cameras today, made the case, or made the claim. I don't think he made the case. He made the claim that the Strait of Hormuz, we're in full control. It's what he said.
Following up on this, Iran is negotiating with Oman to set up a formalization of charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Is that acceptable to you?
Well, we're looking at it. We hear about it. They've negotiated. They've had a relationship with them before. And we'll see. We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz, as you know, with our blockade. The blockade's been 100% effective. Nobody's been able to get through. It's like a steel wall. It's our Navy. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. We wiped out their Navy. We not wiped out their air. I think they're down to about, I would say we knocked out 85% of their missile capacity.
We did? We did? Wait, hold on. I didn't know this. Maybe this is breaking news, Micah. Is the Strait of Hormuz open? Do we have control of it?
No, we absolutely don't have control. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm actually a half Iranian American. My dad came here from Iran, fleeing from the regime. So I know a lot about this country. They closed the Strait of Hormuz. That was their leverage point. And then Trump's response was, well, we're actually going to close it too? What? No, it's like, that's what they did. We don't want it to be closed. He actually, do you remember this? He said, we're going to go get European countries, all the countries in the world. We're going to unite them and we're going to force them to reopen it. And then every single country in the world issued a public statement. Hey, we're not going to go with you anywhere. You're fucking Trump. I mean, you're freaking Trump. We're not going to go with you anywhere. And now he's like, oh, actually, we don't want it to be open. We want it to be closed. I mean, it's classic.
Remember when Pete Hegseth a few weeks ago bragged and said, hey, guys, we blockaded the blockade?
So what the hell is going on?
They started the fire and we also poured gasoline on it. Like, I don't understand.
Right. And they talk about the Navy. I mean, it's like, this is ridiculous. The Iranian Navy has not changed in its composition since 1975. We gave them all their ships. We gave them all their planes. They were not even usable. We blew up a bunch of stuff that they never could threaten us with in the first place. Meanwhile, all the stuff that actually matters, the missiles, especially the ones that are in the ground in the cities across the coast, they have all of that. The ballistic missiles still exist. How do we know? Because Israel gets hit with them all the time.
Yeah.
So everything that matters, they still have, and they still have the enriched uranium. Not a single thing that they had, that they had before this war started, they don't have now.
That's a really good point. And while all this is going on, and we've talked about the economy right now, inflation, the war in Iran, and everything just a mess, what does Donald Trump announce, and what does his administration announce just a few days ago? This 1.7, close to 1.8 billion compensation fund, this slush fund, which is going to go to people that just claim they were mistreated, people that beat police officers on January 6th, people that are just horrific criminals that have committed atrocities. Idiots like Navarro and Steve Bannon and Sidney Powell will be able to get this fund. Idiots like Mike Lindell. Here's the acting attorney general, the guy that I think is going to officially be the attorney general. This is Donald Trump's former personal attorney, Todd Blanche. He did an interview with CNN, and listen to what he said about this compensation fund.
But wouldn't the average taxpayer respond and say, okay, but why is that now my problem? Why do my tax dollars now need to go to people who are upset about their involvement in investigations?
Well, if you're just upset, you're not getting it done. On the other hand, I think if you said to the American taxpayer that there is a horrible wrong committed by your government, and now you can apply and you can have your lawyer's fees back. You can be compensated for what you lost financially. What American would say, oh my gosh, that's terrible? I mean, I very much disagree with the idea that the American taxpayer is indignant about the fact that a victim of weaponization, okay, a victim who suffered, whether it was legal fees, lost a job, had their life turned upside down in a way that was not appropriate. If it was appropriate, there should be no compensation. And that's why we have 5 commissioners who will take a look at it. But I do not think the American people have issues with that. To the contrary, I think they do want their tax dollars spent on things like that.
Let me be very clear. Most people in this country don't want their tax dollars spent on making people who beat police officers millionaires, or people that have done horrible things to children, or people that have openly lied to the FBI, or people like Steve Bannon and Navarro that put themselves first and the president first before the country and rip up parts of our Constitution. No, Mr. Blanche, I don't think that most Americans want their tax dollars to go to idiots like this.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the most infuriating things, frankly. I'm trying to contain my own frustration at this because, Americans voted for Trump because he said, you are getting robbed. I'm going to stop the robbery. And what is he doing now? This is highway illegal robbery. He negotiated a settlement agreement. He sued his own administration, negotiated a settlement agreement with the attorney general, who is his former personal lawyer and who he hired and could fire at any time. And now they're putting together a board of commissioners to allocate this money, which he's appointing, and it's supposed to be impartial. And it's not even legal, because here's the reality. Congress is the one that has the power to, provide funds and allocate funds for these kind of things. Trump can't sue on behalf of every single person who's ever been wronged by the government and then get an unlimited amount of money. This is insane. But this is a lawless administration. I don't know who expected anything different.
Well, guess who disagrees with you? A guy with the lumpy pillows. His name is Mike Lindell. Very credible individual, by the way. Very credible. Mike Lindell has officially said yesterday that now he's going to file compensation as well, and he's going to be a part of this. Here's what he had to say.
We actually put into the government a couple months ago through following a process that they told us about then. Now, this is new. And we are actually going to get it out there. I don't care which comes first to help my employees that lost millions upon millions of dollars. We had 3 third parties look and do an evaluation of MyPillow, what it was prior to all these attacks and what it is now. And all of them averaged $400 million that it cost the brand and cost MyPillow. And it's just horrific that our own government could do this to the American dream, this company that was built on the American dream and made in the USA. And to have this happen, this will be it will be a blessing to actually get made some of these my employees made whole that were stockholders because in MyPillow, and even a lot of.
Well, first of all, the reason why you've lost hundreds of millions of dollars is because, number one, your product sucks. I've tried these pillows. They're very lumpy, and it's very difficult to get a good night's sleep on these pillows. That's number one. Number two, you're an idiot. You are the election denier. You are the guy that was at the forefront of this whole thing. You and the felon Dinesh D'Souza are the 2 people that Republicans seem to go to. And then you were supposed to have this symposium where you're going to be showing all this credible evidence of widespread voter fraud. And then all of a sudden you claim that you were hacked. It's funny, he never rescheduled that symposium. Isn't that interesting? He never provided anybody any real evidence of widespread voter fraud, that the 2020 election was stolen. And now to this day, he says, well, I'm not looking at the past, I'm looking at the future. What are you talking about? For years, you have been saying that the election was stolen. For years, you had an opportunity to provide us with any evidence. He's provided us with no evidence. So a lot of people, like myself, look at him as an a guy who's not credible, who's a lunatic, who is part of the attack on our democracy. And you also are selling a horrible product. That's why you've lost so much money. And now he wants to be bailed out by taxpayers. This makes me sick to my stomach. I want to vomit in one of his pillowcases. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously so dumb because he has alienated about 60% of the country by being such a partisan hack. Of course, a lot of people that were buying his pillows before are going to say, I don't want to buy pillows from like the super right-wing guy. Right? It's like a half your customer base, 60% of your customer base. And then he's like, oh, that's because of weaponization. What are you talking about? $400 million? Are you kidding me? If you look at the cost of this fund, this thing could pay for instance, the free school lunches in New York. Republicans in New York are saying, oh, these free school lunches, this is socialism. It's less expensive than this corrupt bailout fund. Look at the free diapers Gavin Newsom is giving out in the state of California. Look at what a lot of the stuff Mamdani is doing. It doesn't cost $1.7 billion. And I want to say something about Dinesh D'Souza.
Sure.
I have it out for this guy. I don't understand the right, because the right tells us, oh, we don't want these immigrants coming to our country, committing crimes, ruining everything, right? Not respecting our institutions. Dinesh D'Souza is the epitome of everything what right-wingers say is true about immigrants. He is the immigrant who comes to our country, commits fraud, literally goes to prison for fraud, tries to overturn our elections, tries to destroy our institutions, does not respect our liberal values. This is the guy. You want to deport somebody? Deport Dinesh D'Souza.
By the way, on a side note, Dinesh D'Souza side note, I don't know why, for whatever reason, but he and his wife started following me on Twitter last week. I don't know why.
Well, hopefully they see this.
It was around the same time that I'll tag that. Yeah, it was around the same time that Michael Knowles was tweeting at me too. These guys that they just don't like any pushback. That's just the bottom line. They don't like pushback. Dinesh D'Souza was sued for his stupid fictional documentary, 2,000 Mules. He was sued. He lost. There's not one evidence or one case of any criminal wrongdoing in that entire fictional flick that he put together. I find that to be a piece of garbage, just like the Melania movie. But maybe Jeff Bezos will invest $80 million in a 2,000 Mules 2 movie. I don't know. Maybe that's possible. But yeah, Dinesh D'Souza has no credibility, and neither does anybody else that says that the 2020 election was stolen. It's really sad. I'll tell you something else, Micah, that is extremely sad to me. And that is the fact that when you look at where we're at right now, and we saw so many people on the right that were blaming the Hollywood elitists for being pedophiles. We saw so many people on the right that were championing for the Epstein files to be released. And I keep hearing these stories over and over and over again of these MAGA supporters that have molested children. I want you to listen to this story that just came out of a guy by the name of Alan Chambers, who is a staunch Donald Trump supporter. This is how one local news station covered this story.
Alan Chambers is expected to go before an Orange County judge for the first time today after he's accused of trying to meet a 14-year-old boy for sex. He once was the head of Exodus International. For 4 decades, the church stood in part to help cure gays and lesbians across the country.
What do you make of the fact, Micah, that we're seeing more and more stories like this of MAGA supporters that are child molesters? Or, and I'll get into this, a few more stories. Let me just, before I ask you the question, I just want to name a few of these cases recently. A guy by the name of Andrew Paul Johnson. He's a January 6th rioter who received a presidential pardon. He was recently just sentenced to life in prison in March of 2026 for child sex abuse. He reportedly used this promise of Trump bucks, claiming a future restitution, to silence his victims. A guy by the name of Robert Morris. He's a former spiritual advisor, if you remember this story, to Donald Trump. He's the founding pastor of Gateway Church. He pleaded guilty last year to 5 felony counts of lewd acts with a child that dates back to the 1980s. He was released in April of 2026 after serving only a 6-month jail term. But you don't hear MAGA supporters talking about that. Jack Silvers is a prominent MAGA influencer known for his online rhetoric against child predators. He was arrested in July on charges of being a predator himself. Then Timothy Nolan, a former state district court judge and Trump campaign leader, convicted as a child sex offender. Just the other day, we learned that a guy by the name of Corey Blaine Earp, what a name, Corey Blaine Earp, 16 counts of child exploitation, Every single day on his social media platform, he was attacking Kamala Harris when she was running for president and attacking her for being a mother, attacking her and her kids. Republican neo-Nazi Greg Anthony, 8 counts of sexual battery of children. The youngest victim was 5 years old. And then there's Republican candidate Abraham Enrique, who seems to have dedicated the last couple of years on social media for constantly blasting homosexuality, going after gay people just for being gay. Well, it turns out that he was caught having sexual interactions with men on Grindr. These people are such blatant hypocrites, and at a minimum, hypocrites, at a maximum, molesting children. And these are the people that have been going after lefties. And I want to know, as I ask you about this, what do you make of this?
I mean, MAGA has a pedophile problem. It has a lot of problems, but it has a pedophile problem. The agenda of the GOP at the federal level is to defend Epstein pedophiles. 0 charges filed, 0 investigations ongoing. At least Biden had some investigations. At least they entertained the idea of doing charges. Still 2 million files not released. And then you talk about the MAGA base. There's a MAGA base pedophile problem. You just listed so many names, but I can tell you that's just the tip of the iceberg. I run an account, or my company runs an account called GOPLs. We literally just, every time there's a pedophile story that comes out, a new charges filed, we just go to their Facebook. First post, endorsing Trump. Republican county elected official, a county chair, was just arrested for this. Every day, it's like 60, 70, 80%. You will never find a Democrat. Or if you ever do, the libs and TikTok, all these right-wingers will talk about it. It seems like all of these people that have these terrible personal attributes seem to find some home in MAGA. And I think that tells you something about their ideology. The MAGA ideology is home for sick, hateful, disgusting people. That's what it attracts.
Why is it that when it's one of them, they don't seem to be talking about it? And then when we're talking about mass shootings, it's almost like they're hoping that it was a trans person that did this. And then when it's one of their own, it could be Donald Trump's own spiritual advisor. He only spends 6 months behind bars. Why is it that right-wing media refuses to cover these stories? Why is it? That's the part that really gets me. You literally have members, some in Donald Trump's own administration, who claimed they were never on Epstein Island. And then it turns out they were on Epstein Island. Then they own it, but then they say, well, I was my kids were there. I was there with my family. And then we see pictures with this guy without any family members there. And yet nothing. Imagine if this was somebody in Joe Biden's administration. I know I keep saying that. Imagine if it was somebody in the Obama administration. The hypocrisy is unreal, and they still defend the guy that's named in the Epstein files almost 40,000 times.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't trust the Republican Party to defend children. Look at Ken Paxton. I'm from Texas. This is a guy, he talks about how he's so tough on LGBTQ people, all of these groups. He's not tough on pedophiles, though. He gave, what was it, a 30-day sentence to a MAGA attorney, a Republican attorney, who was convicted of being a pedophile. Gave him a 30, 60-day sentence. He was a guy who was literally molesting, raping a child.
Yeah,
and that's
horrible.
what he did. He wanted that sentence. It wasn't a judge. We have Republican judges also giving out these low sentences. I think if these Republicans lives at TikTok, all these guys, they really care about this problem. They should stop harassing drag queens.
Yeah.
You might just think they dress weird or something. Why don't you go after all the people in your own party which are abusing children?
Yeah, I agree. Very well said. And before we take phone calls, I do want to talk about fraud and the hypocrisy there, but I do want to give out the number for those of you that are just joining us. He is Adam Mockler's personal debate coach. He is a political commentator and consultant. Micah Irfan joining us in studio. You might have seen him on MSNBC. He's joining us in studio today. And I do want to know about the phone lines. We've been talking about a lot, of course, MAGA hypocrisy and the fact that Donald Trump today is talking about the ballroom. He's talking about reflecting pool. He's talking about trans people, but he's certainly not talking about the economy. He's not talking about gas prices. He's not talking about the real kitchen table issues that I would imagine most of you care about. So we're talking a little bit about that and why it appears as though people on the right, they always want to talk about how horrible it is, the people that do terrible things to children. And of course, I agree. But then it seems like lately it's been nothing but their own, and they're completely silent. The number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. Again, number 888-221-SAVE. And you also have an opportunity to talk to Adam Mockler's personal debate coach, who I think I would give him, not to sound like Donald Trump here, but if I have to give you a grade, it would be an A+. Yes, it would be an A+. Perfect, A+. I wanted to bring up fraud real quick before we get to the phone call. 702-221-7283. I'm going to look at Nick Shirley as an example of this, right? All they talk about is Somali fraud. They're eating the cats and the dogs. Somali fraud. It's all Nick Shirley talks about. They only go after brown people. But yet, Donald Trump, as you know, pardoned over 70 people that committed billions of dollars in fraud. And the worst part, they don't have to pay back any restitution. Why are they not? When I bring this up to MAGA Republicans, I don't know anything about that. I'll have to look into it. But that's Somali fraud in Minneapolis. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's credible. You know, you look at the Somali fraud in Minnesota, to the extent it's Somalians that are the ones committing the fraud. Almost everybody who's been prosecuted was prosecuted by Joe Biden. Almost every single person that was prosecuted. They've caught nobody. Vance has a anti-fraud committee. They've done nothing. What are Democrats doing? They passed 2 anti-fraud bills in Minnesota just now. In California, anti-fraud legislation left and right. Same story in New Mexico. Democrats actually care about fraud, as you mentioned. Trump is pro-fraud. We have a pro-fraud president. He's pardoned not just first-time fraudsters. He's pardoned second-time convicted fraudsters in exchange for $1 million of campaign contributions.
Yep.
And Republicans won't say anything because Nick Shirley doesn't care.
He doesn't. What do you make of that guy? He's around your age. I had a run-in with him at AmFest in Phoenix. You were out there, and his mom. It was really weird. I was ganged up by his mom too. That was very odd. I'm just wondering, what do you make of a guy like a Nick Shirley, who Elon Musk has, buttered up, and he's made probably, I would imagine, millions of dollars with his stupid videos that are nothing but right-wing propaganda. He goes over to the Ukraine and makes satire videos, self-admitted satire videos about a war, and he's being propelled and getting paid boatloads of money to speak. And I'm like, is this for the MAGA? Like, what do you make of a guy like Nick Shirley?
Yeah, the issue with Nick Shirley is that he's fundamentally trying to have it both ways. So whenever you criticize him, he says, I'm just anti-fraud. Wait, why are you anti-fraud? Don't we all hate fraud? And then whenever he's tweeting, he's saying Democrats love fraud. Tim Walz should go to prison. Gavin Newsom's to blame for fraud. That's his problem. You want to talk about fraud? We can talk about fraud. I'm sure, some of these daycares and nannies, there's some fraud there. Of course, we should all work on this problem together. But he blames the Democrats. The Democrats are the only people prosecuting fraudsters.
It's true. There were over 90 people, I think, under the Biden administration that were prosecuted in Minneapolis. You're right.
And let's talk about one other element of fraud that the Trump administration has totally dropped the ball on. It's not just the pardons. Look at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the biggest consumer protection agency in the United States government. What was the first thing Trump did? Literally day one, he fired everybody there he could. It's basically non-existent as an organization. What was the stuff that organization was doing? It was holding Wells Fargo liable for fraud. It was holding big banks, all these financial entities, which were defrauding consumers, not like a little Somalian that was stealing $100,000. These guys are stealing billions of dollars. And he shut that down. They don't care about fraud.
Of course they don't. Of course they don't. I agree with you. All right, opening up the phone line, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, that number is 702-221-7283. We'll also get to the YouTube super chat here in a moment as well. All right, let's get to the phone calls. Let's see, who do we got first here? We've got a bunch of people on hold. We have one phone line open. Who are we going to first? I'll let Numchuck decide. Let's go to line 3. Derek is calling out of Illinois. What's up, Derek?
Hi, this is the first-time caller.
Thank you.
I just wanted to call. I'm watching on YouTube there. I've been watching you religiously pretty much for the last 2 years. I found you on YouTube by accident, which I'm glad I did, and you loved watching you through 2024, and then you basically have helped me get through 2025 and this year. And I just want to thank you for your show. And please keep doing what you're doing. And I normally watch you third shift. I'm not normally awake at this hour because I work third shift, and I just work. I watch you at work. So I want to thank you for your show, and please keep doing what you're doing.
Well, Derek, that means a lot, man. It's because of people like you out there, and I'm sure Micah would agree. Good people like you guys out there, Americans that care about this country. And if I can play a little bit of role in making your day a little bit easier, these are tough times we're living in right now, then I did my part, my friend, and I appreciate you. What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I work night audit. I work in the hotel industry. I've been doing that for almost 30 years.
Oh, can you audit the Trump Tower here in Las Vegas, please? Is there any way we can make that happen?
I've done something you probably would like. I've visited a couple times. I don't work literally downtown. I live in the far north suburbs.
Gotcha.
But my wife and I used to walk past it going to the train station, and we've given it the finger several times.
Patriot. What a patriot.
I love it. That's a real patriot. That's right. Well, Derek, thank you for what you do, my friend. And I appreciate your kind words. It means a lot. Okay, brother. Thank you. You call back anytime.
God bless you.
Will do. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you. That means a lot. This should be let's see. Okay, I guess we're going to it. So, okay, let's go to John. He's calling out of Illinois. What's up, John? What's going on?
Hey, Brian. Hey, dear guest. You want to talk about Republican hypocrisy? Do you remember Doug Jones?
Doug Jones. Yes, I do. Vividly.
Yeah,
yes.
And then the guy that he beat, the guy that he beat in that special election had a reputation for going around town picking up underage girls.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, remember when he actually called a high school and had the principal bring a girl to the office so he could ask her out on a date.
I remember that. Now, listen, I'm not going to defend Anthony Weiner. Okay, what Anthony Weiner did was wrong, but there's a reason why I'm bringing it up. First of all, he didn't touch anybody. He had a few inappropriate conversations over the internet. He was a married man at the time to Huma, so in that essence alone, why he's even talking to anybody else, it's crazy. He did his time, but they still talk about Anthony Weiner. But what they don't talk about, the people that you're bringing up right now, people that actually had physical interaction or abused children, they don't want to talk about that. Donald Trump's own spiritual advisor just got out of jail. He only spent 6 months in jail, and they're still talking about Anthony Weiner. Like, I'm just so tired of these people. The hypocrisy is so gross. It's so disgusting.
I hear you.
Thank you for the call, my friend. I appreciate you. One phone line open, 702-221-7283. Go ahead.
It's crazy that Doug Jones, just narrowly beat that guy. It wasn't even that. Like, I think it was like 40% of Republicans or more than that still voted for the pedophile.
Yeah.
So
it's insane. Love my Canadian listeners, right? I think we have Bruce. Bruce is calling out of Canada. What's up, Bruce?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Actually, I'm in Canada.
You're
working
in
for a gig right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
I know to come up with silly jokes, but can you give me a little bit of latitude for one? And then I want to talk about something really serious.
Okay. The joke and then the serious stuff. Okay, go ahead.
I'm ready.
I'm ready for your joke. Yes.
Okay. So all weekend, I was trying to figure out how these Nepo babies are born. I couldn't. But then I realized, sorry, I did that wrong. I was trying to come up with a joke about how these Nepo babies are born. But then I realized how they're actually born. When the wife is pregnant, the husband doesn't care. So he just passes her off to his Nepo baby niece or nephew or whatever to drive the limo. And instead of bringing her to OBGYN, he's bringing her to the proctologist every time. So on the 9th month, when she delivers, it's a huge POS. You get me?
Yeah. I'm following, sort of. Are you following, Mike?
I don't know if I got
the full word. So
okay, fair enough.
Listen, you got to experiment. You got to experiment. To get the punchline.
It's okay. I mean, there's a lot of jokes.
I ruined it. I know.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. I'll give you a C. Okay, your delivery was a little off, but I'll give you a C.
We're experimentation.
It's okay.
Get better
It's fair enough. Yeah, it's okay. Well, we'll give you another try, another show. All right. So, what did you want to talk about that was serious?
Okay, I think the reason all these people in administration get so mad about things they're doing themselves, like, for example, Hegseth at these phone parties when he's clearly at least bisexual, which for me, that's fine, but don't be a hypocrite, right?
Yeah.
I think when they're really weaponizing and attacking people, it's just projection.
Yeah, I think that it's fear mongering, right? I mean, I mentioned, right, that they're eating the cats and the dogs, which was something that was started by J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump mentioned it on a debate stage when we know that it was a complete farce. There was a lady that was missing her cat, an ignorant lady who I would imagine is a staunch Trump supporter, goes without saying, and then her cat was found 2 weeks later. But J.D. Vance's excuse, well, my constituents left me voicemails. So what? That doesn't mean that it's happening. And I wish that Tim Walz pressed him more on that. I don't think they did a good enough job of that. It's fear mongering is what it was and what it still is.
I think projection theory is correct. I mean, you look at this Texas candidate that we just talked about. This guy, Republican, he made his name opposing LGBTQ rights. Literally, he was a college vice president. He vetoed LGBTQ community center. That's how he became a Republican candidate. He's currently endorsed by Greg Abbott. Then we find out while he was vetoing this stuff, he was on Grindr, sending people, penis pictures.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane.
It's projection.
Yeah.
It's projection. 100%. These
Complete.
anti-porn guys, all of them watch it. The
Mike
louder they are,
Johnson.
the more they watch it.
Mike Johnson does that. He monitors his own son and what stuff his son is watching. It's so bizarre. If there's anybody in DC that I would want their hard drive checked out, it would be Mike Johnson. Okay, so little Mikey is
Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. I believe Adam out of New York wants to talk about the Wilsons.
All right,
this should be interesting. Adam, lower your radio for me, my friend, please.
Yep, I am.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. Go ahead, Adam.
Am I talking to Brian?
Unfortunately, yes, you are.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. It's real hard to hear.
That's okay. I'm kidding. Go right ahead.
So my issue is really with the whole Savannah Hernandez thing. You sit here and defend these families.
What did I say to defend them? What did I say?
I'm talking about the videos. You basically.
Yeah, I'm talking about no. Hold on.
No, you said.
Hold on. Not basically what I said. I want you to know exactly what I said, sir. What did I say to
maybe
defend?
I was wrong.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you were. Well, let's learn together. Let's have a sit-down powwow together. Hold on. You started the conversation by saying I defended them. Now what I want you to do is defend your opinion. What did I say?
I would if you'd let me speak.
Please.
So I went back, I watched, and I did not see Savannah put her hands on anybody. She
okay. Well, you're wrong. Well, you're wrong. Well, guess what? You're wrong. No, I'm going to stop you right now. I'm going to stop you right now. You're wrong. By the way, it's Savannah. It's not Savannah. Okay. You probably pronounce Kamala Harris Kamala. Okay. First of all, pronounce their. Okay. Be quiet. I'm talking. You don't interrupt me. This is what I do. Okay. It's my show, not yours. The first physical contact that was made, and by the way, this will be shown in a court of law. The daughter blows a whistle in the right-wing grifter Savannah Hernandez's ear or face. I don't necessarily condone that behavior. I would imagine that's very annoying. Savannah, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt on this. She tries to slap the whistle out of the daughter's hand. Instead, makes contact with the daughter's face. I will make you a $1,000 bet right now, sir, on the air, that the first person who made any physical contact was Savannah Hernandez. Would you like blowing a whistle in somebody's ear is not physical contact. You see, sir, physical contact is when you actually touch somebody. We have the picture of that right now that my producer is showing. So let's start this conversation. Let's start this, sir. Don't spurg out. Don't spurg out, sir. Calm down. I know you're very upset. I know you have the MAGA herpes and it's tough to get rid of. And I know you're very upset. All right. So now that we've established that you don't know what you're talking about, clearly you're spurging out. Maybe you'll prove me wrong. You said you don't even know how to pronounce her name. The first physical contact that was made was by Savannah. Sir, have I condoned any violence in the history of my 24-year career? Can you give me one example?
You like to kind of gloss over.
Sir, I don't gloss. No, sir. I don't gloss over anything, just like no woman has ever glossed over you. So let's go back to the beginning here, okay? Sorry, Micah. This is what I have to deal with every day. He's just sitting here. He's like, geez, what did I get myself into? Sir, I don't gloss over anything. I'm going to pod you back up, but as I pod you back up, I'm going to see if we can be respectful and you could listen to my position because clearly you don't understand it. Is that fair, sir? Can I give you my actual position?
Let's go ahead, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Then I'll speak my piece.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Let's try to start this conversation over. Sir, I've said this on Fox News, CNN, Pierce Morgan, and OAN. I don't condone violence on either side. I believe both parties were at fault. I know that Chris regrets pushing her down to the ground. With that being said, Savannah is a right-wing grifter who is an agitator. Does that mean that you deserve to be assaulted? I thought you were going to be quiet. That means you shut up and you let me finish. You've already interrupted. Okay. And by the way, I'm not a left-wing agitator. I don't go to events hoping that I get a viral moment and somebody physically assaults me. I've also never lied about an injury. I was assaulted at the Tim Pool event in DC. You're probably unaware of that because you're ignorant to facts. I've watched
a lot of
okay,
your stuff.
good.
I'm very aware of what
okay,
you
good.
said.
So what happened at that Tim Pool event? What happened after that?
Well, I've only heard you say
You've
that
only
it
heard.
happened. I didn't go look that up.
Okay. Well, exactly. You don't know what you're talking about. So let me explain to you the difference between me and Savannah Hernandez. Well, there's a lot of differences. Number one, I didn't have a kid with Owen Schroyer. That's number one. But I was assaulted at a live event that featured me, Myron Gaines, and Tim Pool. Guy came up to me and assaulted me. Tim Pool was pissed off. Everybody around that show, even Myron and others, were like, Brian, that's horrible. I was told to press charges. Guess what? I didn't do it. I didn't want the attention. I didn't want money. You know what I did? I messaged the guy the next day and I said, I wanted a public apology and then we can move on. He apologized the next day and I had a very cordial conversation with him at AmFest in Phoenix. I didn't go all on the national network shows. I certainly could have. You know why? Because I was the #1 trending story on Twitter on a Saturday night. But I didn't do it. I was asked to go on networks to talk about it. I didn't go. Because I'm not a grifter or an agitator like you claim I am. What did you call her? Savannah? I don't remember what you called her. Savannah? I don't remember what you said. Yeah. So here's what she did, sir. The next day she claimed she had. I don't care if you've watched. I don't care if you've watched anything. That means nothing to me. Here's what Savannah did the next day. She claimed she had a concussion. On the day she claimed she had a concussion, she did the Glenn Beck show. She did Fox News and the evil witch Laura Ingraham show. She did 8 other podcasts. That doesn't seem to me like the behavior of somebody who has severe migraines and has a concussion, because I believe Savannah is not telling the truth and she's a grifter. So, sir, as we bring you back up now, and thank you for taking the MAGA wax out of your ears so that you could listen to me. I know it's very hard for you, sir. What did I say that you disagree with that's not factually accurate?
Well, you sat here and said that, first off, you condemned the family. No, you didn't. You fucking try to make them the
Okay, so
victim.
first of all, you can't swear on the radio. The 2 rules I have on this show is to be on topic, which you weren't. And then I say that you can't swear. So clearly you're not coherent enough to put a sentence together without swearing. Okay, so that's number 1. That's why I potted you down again. Number 2, I said on I'm going to speak very slowly so my MAGA friend could listen. I don't condone violence. I believe both sides made mistakes. I said that on day 1 when I covered this story. I said that on every national network. Micah, am I talking to a brick wall here? Help me out here.
I honestly don't understand what his perspective is.
Let's ask him. I want you to talk to him now.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. Yeah,
I'm done talking to you, dummy. Talk to Micah now.
That was mean coffin. That was their space coffin.
Go ahead. You're talking to Micah now because I obviously can't get anywhere with you because you have an IQ of 20. Go ahead, Micah. You're talking to Micah now. Be quiet. I'm not talking to you. La 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 la. I'm not talking to you. Micah, go ahead. Talk to this idiot. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's your perspective? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad you two think it's funny that you talk over people and then you sit here and act like you want to debate.
I'm talking over you right now, sir. What do you think about that? It's my show and not yours. You used your little Trump fingers to call into this show. I can do whatever I want. Nobody forced you to call into this show. Did somebody force you to use your little Trump fingers to call in, or did you do it all on your own, sir? Tell me. Tell me.
Like you sit here
hey, who'd you vote for in 2024?
Pushing the limit every weekday at noon
George Soros.
on KSHP.
George Soros
Las
has
Vegas,
invaded
AM
our network,
680
sir.
North Las Vegas and KSHP.gov.
All right, sir. As we pod you back on, sir, I think we've moved on from this Savannah, or as you call her, Savannah Hernandez. Sir, what do you think about this $1.7 billion slush fund? You think that's good for the country?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little divided on it.
You're divided on it. Okay, so tell me what's divided on somebody paying off someone who beat a police officer. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'll talk to this guy. Yeah, just give us your perspective.
Now, I think there were some innocent people at January 6th that really didn't do anything wrong. They had walked in the building, didn't hurt anybody, and were arrested and jailed. Now, I do agree with Brian and most people that anyone that did cause anyone harm should be prosecuted. I don't care if you're on the left, the right, in between, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
But those that are innocent, that really didn't do anything, yes, I think they should be compensated for whatever losses they did endure.
So do you think there's something called trespassing where it doesn't have to be violent, but you went onto property that you're not supposed to go onto? Don't you think that's bad? You know, if somebody goes into your house and they break through the window, they climb through the window, they come into your house, they didn't hurt anybody, but I still think they should go to prison, right?
Yeah, but you see what this is also where you're lying, because they were offered to come in.
Well, we've seen the footage.
I heard on the Raging Tomato thing from Brian that they would rather have had them come in than it escalate.
Let me just ask this guy a quick question. Who were the first people that stormed the Capitol? Who were they?
I don't know their names.
Right, you don't know because they were Proud Boy members and they broke windows to get in. You have no idea what you're talking about. The first people, no, you're wrong. The first people who entered the Capitol were Proud Boy members. Number two, what I said on the Raging Tomato show, what I said was there were a few Capitol police officers, a few that testified under oath. They allowed people to come in because they had two choices: either take out their weapon and start shooting at people, or allow. Okay, so that's a stupid argument. You don't even know the first people that were in there.
But it's very clear that they were still trespassing, right? All these January 6ers could see other people fighting with cops. They pushed through the fence. It was very obvious the police didn't want them there. Now, eventually, the police kind of, in some areas, capitulated because they're not going to go kill everybody.
I have a question.
But it's very clear they knew that what they were doing was not allowed. Nobody was under.
I have a question for this guy. By his standards, hold on, calm down, sir. If there's a security guard that allows you into the vault or the safe of a bank, does that mean you have the right to steal money out of the bank and the vault? If somebody let you in,
money,
you're so stupid. You don't even understand my analogy. A few officers let them in because they didn't want to take out their weapon and start shooting people. And some of those people beat police officers. They bear sprayed people. Some of those people, destruction of property. They defecated on Nancy Pelosi's desk. And by the way, just because some of those people didn't physically harm somebody, they still broke the law. Why should they be rewarded for that, sir?
Same standard to the illegals that just crossed the
border. What are the illegals? The illegals have nothing to do with this conversation. Can you please explain to me what an undocumented or illegal immigrant has to do with January 6th? Because to my knowledge, not one illegal immigrant. Micah, did illegals have anything to do with January 6th? We're not talking about the borders, dummy.
But like you just defended a bunch of people trespassing. Like they knew that they weren't allowed to go, obviously, into the Capitol building, especially forcefully. They were going through broken windows, all these things. You know that they knew that, and they got prosecuted for it. And now you think the taxpayer should pay them money for committing a crime? What happened to law and order? I don't understand.
Something the left doesn't know about anymore is they let millions of people be murdered.
Okay, now we're talking millions of people be murdered.
Millions of people. What is this idiot talking about?
Brian,
what are you? No, don't Brian me.
One video.
Don't Brian me, you imbecile.
One video of you, Brian.
Guess what? I've never seen one video of you. Period. I've never seen one video of you. I've never seen one video.
Why are you changing the topic?
Why are you changing the topic? Why are you changing that? Well, okay, you're swearing again. Have a nice day. This is what these MAGA. You tried to be respectful to this guy and talk to him about January 6th. He pivots to undocumented immigrants and he starts swearing at me again.
And millions of people were murdered somehow.
Yeah, millions of people. Really? Millions of people. What is he talking about?
I missed that. I didn't see that.
By the way, I tried to ask him a very basic question because he's painting the picture that all the insurrectionists were just let in. Not true.
Yeah,
the first people that broke into the Capitol were Proud Boy members who literally broke in.
Right.
He didn't know the circumstances. He didn't know who they were. The guy is a complete buffoon. So if you break into the Capitol or if you beat police officers, he doesn't want to talk about that. But if somebody shoves somebody to the ground, they get right back up and they grift off of a viral video. He's very upset at a podcaster for saying both parties were wrong. What a complete imbecile. Have a nice day, sir, you Trump mushroom gobbling fool. 702-221-7283. 702-221-SAVE is the number to call. We're going to Richard from California who wants to talk about Trump. What's up, Richard?
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
After that last call, my blood pressure's a little higher, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I heard it. It's freaking nuts. I just want to remind these MAGA morons that in '93, I believe it was, Trump said if he was going to run, he would run as a Republican because they would believe anything.
Correct. He did say that. That's true. People forget about that. Donald Trump's a Democrat. People forget about that.
Yeah. Exactly, and he blamed Democrats for being in the Epstein files.
Yes.
Well, he was a Democrat at the time.
He donated to the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Yeah, that's true.
He went to the wedding of Chelsea Clinton. He went to the wedding.
So my question to these MAGA idiots is he a Democrat plant? Is he one of the most extreme Democrat moron plants?
I think here's what
Republican Party.
Mike, I want to ask you in the caller this question, and some people might I actually think that if you got him behind closed doors, if you're a woman, or a child, I highly suggest you don't do that. But let's just
don't.
Definitely not a good idea.
If it's in complete private, and you asked him about his real opinions on abortion and weapons and all that, he will lean to the left on most issues. I think
Absolutely.
he's a complete phony. He's a complete phony.
Yeah. I mean, he talked about how he wasn't going to cut.
Point. He's playing on these idiots. You know, he's just playing them like.
Wait, sir. Wait, hold on, sir. Are you saying you didn't buy the Trump Bible? Is that what you're claiming?
I did not. No, no.
Yeah, there was just this big ceremony at the national.
If you listen,
go ahead. You got it.
If you listen and watch the lyrics to "Symphony of Destruction" by Megadeth, it explains everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, or Incubus, Megalomaniac. That's another good one, even though that was written about George W. Bush. Go ahead, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, like there was just this event at the National Mall, which was like rededicating America to Christianity. He didn't even show up. He went and played golf. He literally left to play golf. The guy can't name one book in the Bible, and he can't name one verse.
Yeah. Don't get me started on this Christianity crap.
Yeah,
I mean, why is not every other religion allowed in this country? It has to be friggin'
because they're in a cult. Because many of those people that are in a religious cult are also in a cult called the MAGA movement. They're in a cult.
I understand.
It's a cult. They look up to a guy who wakes up in the morning and puts on 8 layers of orange makeup. He puts on his girdle, his 5 hair transplants, his fake tan, his brown black / fingers, his purple hands, his rashes everywhere.
Friends.
This is the guy who they look up to, the guy who dodged the military multiple times, who's a coward, who cheats on the golf course, cheats in everyday life. Like, this is the person who the who the Republican Party look up to. They are so pathetic with no backbone, and they're afraid of this guy. And it's about time that Democrats step up to the plate and fight against this nonsense. I've had it. I think this country has had it.
I don't understand why so many people are afraid of him. He's a freaking baby. It's what he is. He's so afraid of being alone.
Yeah.
If everybody left him alone, he would just wither up and die.
I think there are rumors that he definitely is wearing diapers. So in that aspect, he definitely is a baby. And I think he likes he would look good with a pacifier in his mouth or maybe gag his mouth. I don't know. Hey, my friend, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much. 702-221-7283. I find it that, Micah, that's what these MAGA Republicans, they do. Whenever you talk about January 6th, when they'll bring up Black Lives Matter, or they'll talk about those immigrants, those darn immigrants.
Yeah, all they have is immigration, and they have trans, and I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
they maybe some Hunter Biden laptop. They throw that one in there, but there's like 3 thoughts in their brain.
They still talk. They still talk about the Hunter laptop. By the way, I had Tina Peters on this show, who just got pardoned, I believe. I had her on the show like a year ago, and she claimed she actually had Hunter Biden's hard drive. I actually have her on the show saying that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's insane. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Nelson on line 1. I believe Nelson is next up on January. He wants to talk about January 6th. What's up, Nelson? Hello, Nelson?
Hello?
Yes, hello. Hello?
Yeah,
hello?
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hello. How are you? Hi. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, so
yes.
I want to get to topic, but like, can you not do what you did last time? Like, can you stop spurging and stop acting like a little baby?
I don't spurg and I don't act like a baby. I'll do whatever I want because it's my show. I'll do whatever I want because it's my show. So I don't
to conduct your emotions properly. Like, that's the problem.
From the guy who's a big Andrew Wilson fanboy who can't open up a pickle jar. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Nelson. I don't care about your grievances. I'll treat you. Nelson, here's how this works. Here's how this works, Nelson. Let's start from square one. Okay, Nelson. This is my radio show, not yours. You're not capable of having a show because you have no ability or talent, and you have an IQ of about 20. You're a fan of Andrew Wilson. That's all I need to say to the supporters of this show. So I'm sorry, Nelson, if I insult you, but you deserve it because you're a very ignorant person. Now that we've established that, I'm still going to take your call, probably regretfully. I don't care about your grievances. So stop being a MAGA snowflake, be a man, and tell me what you would like to talk about today in regards to January 6th. Now that we've established that, and you've now wasted 2 minutes of airtime. Go ahead, Nelson. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, I mean, you're like 45, 46 years
Nelson,
old.
this is your last chance with your grievances. Nobody cares about your grievances. I know that you're probably on Grindr looking for a 46-year-old ginger radio host, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're very attractive people, and we're a lot of fun to hang out with, Nelson, but I'm sorry if I had a fetish for 30-something Andrew Wilson fans, then maybe you would have a chance. But unfortunately, I don't. Okay, so Nelson, let's try this again. Let's see if we can start the conversation like normal people do. All right, Nelson is next. He wants to talk about January 6th. Hi, Nelson. What would you like to talk about? Go right ahead, sir.
Your child, Brian, your child.
Nelson, have a nice day.
Well, that was a waste of time.
Have a nice day. Nelson, you are a waste of my time, and you are a MAGA imbecile. Go listen to your Andrew Wilson teach people how to pick up, how to open pickle jars, you freaking moron, you. 702-221-7283. Who are we going to next? Let's go to Lewis. Lewis is next up on PTL. I hope it's better than the last caller. What's up, Lewis?
What's going on, Brian? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Brian, you know what I wanted to point out, and it's something that I think needs to be pointed out. I never hear anybody saying it because, and I know you guys were talking earlier about the fraud and about how these guys, they were going after the fraud in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And saying that Governor Walsh should be in jail. I mean, I live in Miami. Okay, Miami is the fraud capital of the world. Okay, Miami is the fraud. I mean, they do insurance fraud. I'll tell you. Look, in the '90s, we had the drugs, the cocaine, or whatever. That built Miami. And then after that, it was Medicare fraud, okay? So Medicare fraud and insurance fraud is what pretty much built Miami, right? I mean, so, they talk about all this fraud, but, I mean, you have it right here in Miami. No, I never hear anybody talking about it. You know why? Because here they got the Cuban population that votes Republican.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So they don't say anything about it here. But here, this is the look at some of the people that Trump has pardoned. They're from here. They're from Miami.
Yeah.
The people that are committed fraud.
And your senator, Rick Scott, he's a fraudster. He's one of the biggest fraudsters.
Rick Scott, part of the biggest fraud ever. I wanted to point that out because, I mean, they're always talking about, why they pick on Minneapolis? Because Somalis, they're brown and they tend to vote Democrat. That's the only reason, because I guarantee you that the fraud that's being committed in Minnesota or Minneapolis dwarfs in comparison to what's going on here in Miami. Okay, so that's just something I'm pointing out.
No, I love that.
Another thing that I wanted to point out was one of the things that I heard Todd Blanche, and he was saying, and he comes out and he's trying to justify this 1.776 billion slush fund, whatever, and he says, "Oh, well, I don't know of any American. These people were wronged. I don't know of any American who doesn't think that if you were wronged, you deserve some compensation." Okay, that's fine. You want to go like that? You should get Reverend Al Sharpton on your show. Okay, and let's start reparations right now. Right now, start reparations because they were wrong.
Yeah,
that's being wrong. Okay, those people were wrong. Those families, they deserve
I like this
that.
guy. I like this guy.
This guy's great. This guy needs a radio.
You're one of my new favorite callers.
I mean, look at what they've done to all the American citizens. They put in ICE detention centers 3, 4, 5, 6 days. They've gotten people killed in ICE detention centers. Should they get reparations? They should get reparations for what's happened to them.
Yeah, 100%. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, whenever anybody comes on, they start pointing out this stuff about Governor Walsh. Look, DeSantis, he's letting all this stuff slide, okay? Every governor, like you said, Rick Scott, I mean, it goes on and on here. And, when I heard Todd Blanche say that I heard it this morning or yesterday, I was like, yeah, all right, well, that's it. If that's the case, then, the NAACP, they should be on this like white on rice right now and talking about, okay, we demand reparations.
I love that.
Great call.
That's all I got.
Great call. That's all we need. That was a great call, my friend. Lewis, I appreciate you, man. That was awesome. Miami, I miss the beaches out there in Miami. I've been out there before. It's really nice. A lot of corruption, though.
There's another talking point. They always talk about blue state red tape. They talk about blue state fraud, blue state red tape. There was a study done about which states have the most licensing restrictions. That's anti-worker red tape. And where is that? That's Texas. Texas, worst red tape against workers in the entire country. My mom got a license as a barber. She had to get relicensed because of some random paperwork. Took her a year.
I remember
just to get through that.
The school shooting that took place out there at and I'm trying. What was the name of the school? I'm forgetting because I haven't.
I know what you're talking about.
And at that school, I remember Governor Greg Abbott, as I like to call him, Greg Abhole. He had a campaign event that night, if you recall, and he refused to cancel it. And while they hadn't, Uvalde, Texas, Uvalde, while they hadn't even finished counting the bodies of those poor young students in that classroom, he was counting money for campaign. He did not cancel his campaign event.
Right.
And I will never forget that. Ever.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I have so many stories from Texas politics about what these Republicans are doing, but you wouldn't believe it.
Why is it that Matthew McConaughey, and listen, I'm not he's not a policymaker. I get he's an actor, he's a celebrity, but he goes to the White House. No criticism of Governor Abbott, no criticism of the lack of laws that are put in place that maybe could have stopped that shooting from happening. It was a whole bunch of nothing from Matthew McConaughey. I was really, and I understand he comes from a very Republican family, right? I get that.
Well, I think a lot of these, they want to keep in good graces with all the Republicans, right? And also a lot of people, I just genuinely don't think know. They don't know what's going on. Like, let me give you an anecdote. I worked in the Texas State Senate. There's an area called Channelview, Texas. The air quality there is so bad. They have this thing called benzene in the air. It's killing people. People's heart disease rates, cancer rates, 4 times the national average. People are dying. Texas monitors the air quality, but the commission can raise the standard, by which, it's okay. Every single year they measure the air. They see, oh my God, it's so much benzene. People are dying. And they raise the standard so they don't have to find them. They've done that for 20 years.
Insane.
They've literally let people die. And I asked the senator, I said, hey, well, can't we just pass a law to force them to actually enforce their own regulations to protect people from poisonous air? And they said not a single Republican will vote for it. The Republicans care about corporate profits over people's lives. They will sacrifice
100%.
To increase their bottom line. That is the state of the Texas
way
Republican
before
Party.
Donald Trump ever got into office. I completely agree with you. So just to refresh here, we're taking some phone calls at 702-221-7283. Obviously, a lot of topics that we're discussing today. Of course, Donald Trump seems to be continued focused. I don't know why he's still obsessed with this ballroom, the reflecting pool, transgenders. And then he said, we have complete control of the Strait of Hormuz. He said that today. The $1.7 billion slush fund, which some is going to be going to turn millionaires to these people, some of whom beat cops with their own batons. 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Mike. He's calling out of New York. He wants to talk about this slush fund. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
I have to laugh, man. Anyone who thinks that those scumbags, those insurrectionists, are going to get any kind of money, they're not going to get anything. The only one that's going to get that 1.7 is the orange turd. He's going to get that money. He's not going to give them a dime.
Well, here's what I'm worried about. So I totally hear you out on that. And I'm not here to defend Donald Trump. Here's what I think is going to happen. If it does pass and if Democrats can't stop it from happening, I believe he's going to take a large piece of that. I think there are going to be really bad people that are going to be getting paid. And I think Donald Trump and his cronies are going to make deals with these people to get a kickback. I don't know, Mike, what your opinion is. That's what I think.
And also, he's trying to fund the Republican infrastructure, right? Like he's trying to get all these influencers, campaigns, all this stuff, throw them money. Yeah. They say nice things about him. They say nice things about Vance and all these other cronies. It is literally using taxpayer dollars to fund the Republican propaganda machine.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. That's my opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong.
You're right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just giving you, I think we both can be right.
I just find it hard to believe that scumbag, that Trump would give anybody. He never gives anyone a dime.
Only if it benefits him. He pays people off if it benefits him in some way. So I think we both can be right.
Right. He's not using his own money though. He's using taxpayer money.
Right. Which makes
so he's a little bit more generous with our money.
Yeah, but that's money that could go into his.
Do you think this clown really cares about security in the White House? Do you think he really cares about this ballroom because he wants? Of course not. He only cares about himself and how his family can benefit from it. That's all. Right. That's it.
Exactly.
Yep. Thank you for the call, sir.
All righty.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, his net worth's gone up by 130% since he got elected.
He's made billions of dollars, $3 to $4 billion. He's made more money than every single president combined after they took office. And I see this clown, this hack, Rob Schneider, who goes on social media, who I've tweeted at him back and forth a few times, and he puts up this fake cartoon of all the presidents claiming that Donald Trump has lost money since he got into office. And I'm thinking to myself, Rob, that's like saying you're still an A-list celebrity. I don't think he ever was, and that you're still really funny and you sell out theaters. Like what are you saying? Like what is the earth flat?
He's made more money from crypto than anything else. I remember everybody was like,
billions.
Donald Trump, real estate. He doesn't make money from real estate. He makes money from shoes selling to his fans, Bibles, the Trump phone. Oh, I
Gold
heard it's,
sneakers.
heard
How's that
actually
going? Yeah.
it's coming out. And then this cryptocurrency, which everybody bought into, but if you read the fine print, I actually made a video reading fine print. You can't sell it. So everybody who bought into his crypto, they can't sell it, but who can sell it? He can.
Micah, let me ask you before we get back to the calls at 702-221-SAVE. Of all the people that bought these Trump phones, for some of them that may never receive them, what percentage of these people you think would buy another one if he was trying to sell another one right now?
I honestly, I believe it's like 50-60%. I mean, you have to think about what kind of brain rot do you have to have to be like, oh, I want the Trump phone? What? Come on, man.
Yeah, by the way, exactly my answer the other day. I said about 50%. So and maybe you're right. Maybe it's probably more than that. I don't know. But yeah, about half the people would probably.
They got scammed the first time. You know, they signed up for Trump again after they got scammed the first time. Said he's going to drain the swamp, going to help the working class.
I just want to get that Trump rookie card. I want to buy his trading cards. I really want to get that rookie card when he's like with his shirt off, lying on the bed like this. That would be his rookie card.
Well, he might be on your passport or your Parks card. You look at how he's
or
putting
the $100 bill.
Oh, the $100 bill, the Trump coin. That's coming out.
Not too many. The way things are going, not too many people are going to get an opportunity to hold on to a $100 bill. That's how much it costs to fill your gas tank these days. Thanks, Donnie. Appreciate that. Thank you. So, orange orangutan, $100 bill. We'll fill up your gas tank. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Shane. He's calling out of Pennsylvania. He wants to talk about fraud in Minnesota. What's up, Shane?
Hey, Brian. What do you think about yesterday? Federal prosecutors arrested the CEO of one of the daycares. I want to know what you think about that.
I think anybody who has committed fraud in any way, shape, or form in this country should be held to the highest extent of the law. Let me ask you a question now. What do you think about the 70 people who Donald Trump pardoned who committed billions of dollars in fraud? I'm not saying any fraud is good. It's not. I think the person you're referring to, it's around 1.7 million, which is a lot. What would you say about the 70 plus people that have committed billions of dollars in fraud and don't have to pay back restitution that Donald Trump pardoned?
You're really quick to move around.
I answered. Hold on. I answered your question, didn't I? Immediately, I said, I think that's good. Anybody who committed fraud and is prosecuted.
I actually wondered.
Hold on. Let's just go one by one. And then I promise you, sir, I'll give you the floor. Okay. I answered your question. Right? I said it's bad. Anybody who commits fraud should be held to the highest extent of the law. Immediately, I answered your question. Then I ask you a question, and you don't answer it. So I'm going to ask it again until you answer it. Hold on. Nope. I answered your question immediately. Now it's my turn to ask you a question. If you won't answer my question, you're a MAGA coward. So I'm going to give you the chance to prove me wrong after I answered your question. What do you think of the over 70 people that Donald Trump has pardoned that have committed billions of dollars in fraud that don't have to pay back restitution? Go ahead, sir. Da, 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 da. Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Trebek. Today, you can pick things that Donald Trump did for 500. Sir, my question to you, and the question for Jeopardy today is minus the
Somalis.
The question wasn't about Somalis, sir. Hi, I'm Alex Trebek. Somalis isn't on the questionnaire sheet, okay? So let's try this one more time. This guy called into the show. Micah, please tell me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to be accurate factually, right? He asked me about this woman who was charged with $1.7 million of fraud in Minneapolis. She was arrested. He asked me what I thought about it. Did I not answer his question?
Yeah, you said it was bad.
Quickly, right?
I just don't know why we can't both do the same thing. We think fraud's bad consistently for everybody. Yep. Do you think that Trump pardoning fraudsters is bad?
Guess what? The guy who just called in hung up the phone. The MAGA coward who just called in.
I don't understand.
So let me get this right. That would be like somebody calling in and saying, Brian, what do you think about those Black Lives Matter protests and officers that were beaten? Obviously, both of our responses would be, it's horrible. I hope they're prosecuted. And then I say, what do you think about January 6ers, some of whom beat cops?
Why are you changing the topic?
Why are you changing the topic?
It's like, you answer the question. So you asked me a question, we answer. Now we ask you a question, you can't answer? Come on.
Oh my God, dude. This is what I have to deal with every day with these people. By the way, again, he hung up the phone. I tried to ask him the same question multiple times, and he couldn't answer it because I caught him. And he's a MAGA snowflake with the personality of a dead ant, and obviously the IQ of, I don't know, Matt Gaetz, maybe. I don't know. Holy smokes! Why is it so hard just to say, yeah, that's wrong too?
Because they won't they cannot defend Trump. So they have to get angry. They have to change the topic because nobody can defend Trump.
And that's the thing. I was staying on topic. He was asking about fraud.
Yeah, well, and they won't criticize Trump either because that's their entire personality.
Oh, my God. Thanks for making yourself look like the right-wing buffoon that you are, sir. I'm going to give you the honorary PTL Mushroom Trump Gobbler of the Day. Sir, you win the award. Thank you very much. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Now Micah sees what my life is like every day, having to deal with these people. It's insane. All right, let's go to Stacy. I love my local. She's calling out of Las Vegas. What's up, Stacy?
Hey, Roland. I just wanted to, there's a couple things now I wanted to say. The money that they want to give to the January 6ers.
Yeah.
I heard that one of the Capitol police officers has filed suit to stop them. Now, if we could just keep having every single officer file suit, we could keep them in court until they're out of office, hopefully, and they won't ever see a penny of that money. And then another thing I wanted to tell you is I read this thing about Trump's name and face being on everything, and now he's painting the reflection pool blue on the bottom. Everyone says they're surprised he didn't paint his face reflecting back at everyone on the bottom.
Don't give him an idea. Don't give him an idea. It might happen.
Right, exactly. And then what I really wanted to say was when you were talking about all the Republicans that are pedophiles and all that, I thought it would be interesting to follow this last 4 years of Trump's presidency, keeping a track of all the people. And so on Facebook, I follow a couple pages, and they're always posting pictures of these Republicans or MAGA. Most of them are pastors. A lot of them are governors and, all Republican officials. I've saved 140 pictures of different people.
That's like 10% of it, too.
And that's just in a year and a half. That's just a year and a half, 140 pictures.
Yeah, wow.
So,
it's epidemic.
I'll be interesting to see after 4 years how many there will be.
Yeah, that's a good
Especially
point.
if these files ever come out.
Yeah, exactly. There's still 3 million of them, right?
And they said, there's nothing more to release. We're done with that. We're not going to talk about that anymore. That's what they said. Yeah. But I like the Harry Dunn thing that you brought up. I know Harry Dunn is a great guy. I mean, Democrats need to keep stuff in litigation more. Republicans will sue even if they don't have a case just to cause problems. We need to do the same thing. And in this case, Harry Dunn actually has a very strong argument. I don't think that what Trump did was legal.
Thank you for the call, my dear. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of things that Trump does that's not legal. I'm certainly with you on that one. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. 702-221-SAVE. John is calling out of Boston. I grew up a Boston Celtics fan, so I definitely root for his
Hey,
sports
how
team.
are you?
What's up, John? I love that accent. How about that boy Noma? How about Mo Vaughn? How about that guy Noma Garcia-Pera out there? Sorry, that was my Boston. I'm sorry, that was my Boston accent. I apologize. Go right ahead.
All right, I'm tired of all the stuff going on. It is a nightmare, and all I can say is when it comes to voting time in November, I'm going to vote Democrat all down the line.
Have you not done that in the past? Because you're sounding like maybe have you changed your mind at all? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
I usually vote Democrat.
Oh, okay. So you usually vote. So this isn't a change for you.
No.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
You've been good. You've been consistent.
I just don't like what Donald Trump does.
Well, guess what? Most of the country agrees with you. That's why his approval numbers are some of the worst in American history.
31% last poll.
He's polling 18. I saw a poll, Mike. I saw a poll the other day. He's polling 18% among independents right now.
Yeah, it's like what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's horrible. But anyway, I want to close it with this. This ain't a crank call, but I think you get a kick out of this.
Okay.
I gotta go take a Trump and wipe my Vans.
I'm gonna get you some Donald Trump toilet paper for Christmas, sir. Okay, I promise you. I'll send that right out to Boston. All right, some PTL Donald Trump toilet paper. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
That's
I love my Bostonians, man. How about that Noma? I love it. The Green Monster. Have you ever been to the Green Monster? I have.
I have not been to the Green Monster.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Red Sox. 702-221-7283. And again, that number to call. All right. We have a treat for you because she's known as the MAGA Destroyer. She's become a celebrity on this show, and it's always a luxury to introduce her as Darlene, the MAGA Destroyer from Oklahoma. Darlene, what's going on, girl?
Hey, Brian, and hey, Micah. Micah, I've already adopted Brian as my son, so I just want to let you and Adam know that you guys are my adopted grandson.
Oh, great.
And Micah, thank you so much for everything that you do, because we really appreciate it. Now it's time to get down to business, Brian. Brian, I have been watching the chat all morning, and I got a couple people to call out that you need to take care of.
Okay.
Mr. Adam Rock has been bashing you this whole time.
Okay.
I figure you need to get him. But there's something wrong with another one. This little MAGA goon, Golly, Golli, in the chat is obsessed with your tongue.
With my tongue?
That's all this person's talking about.
Well, to be fair, his wife is also obsessed with my tongue. To be fair. Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Listen, Darlene, I don't know if you're aware of this. I find it quite humbling. First of all, there's like 30 podcasts that are obsessed with this show. There are, and Numchuck I think he can agree with me that there are literally some podcasts that only do a podcast about my podcast, right? Numchuck, you've seen some of these, right?
Can I name one? Just because I like the guy's name.
Do we really want to do that? I don't know. All right.
He's so cool. Vic is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that are just obsessed with what I do. And they make a lot of content on my contact, by the way, including the Wilsons.
You basically support the entire right-wing media ecosystem.
I think
with this stuff. It wouldn't exist without you.
I had a very popular right-winger who you see on Fox News every day almost, who texted me yesterday and said, you are literally making MAGA grifters a lot of money off of your content. I said, well, I don't want to do that, but I can't stop them from doing it. I don't know.
Just point at their house. I paid for that.
Yeah, I paid for that. I paid for that Trump Bible.
Say thank you, actually.
I paid for those gold sneakers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So insane. Do we still have Darlene? Darlene, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. I went on a rant there.
No, I was just, another thing that's really making me mad. I am sick and tired of these MAGA idiots saying that the red states don't have violence. It's all about the blue. I live in Oklahoma, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
We are ranked number 2 for men killing women. We're ranked, I think it's like number 4 or 5 for road rage. We're ranked, they don't want to feed our kids in school. They're taking away everything in Oklahoma. And then them idiots that I live around, they still keep voting these idiots in, and I just don't understand it.
Well, listen,
it just makes me furious.
It makes me angry too, but here's what I want you to do, okay, Darlene? Next time you see somebody wearing a MAGA hat with his 3 teeth, walking around, say, you have to watch this show, Brian Shapiro. It's a great show. He's a very handsome young man, and you'll really appreciate his tongue. Okay, can you please do that for me?
Brian, I spread you everywhere. I put you everywhere. I put PTL everywhere, and I invite them. I do it every day, Brian. I push your show out anywhere I can get it because
I
I'm just sick of it.
Darlene, you're the best.
Well, I love you guys, and Micah, thank you once again. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. I've also heard rumors that Elon Musk spreads himself around as well, but for different reasons. I think that's a seed that he spreads around.
Yeah.
And then he signs a bunch of mommies to non-disclosures. I think St. Clair might have something to say about that.
Yeah, but she's violating it. Yes, good for her. Good for her.
Good. I actually have respect for her.
Yeah, she was talking about the murder rate of Oklahoma. You want to talk about Louisiana? This is where Mike Johnson's from. Mr. Mickey Mouse, Mike Johnson, always lecturing everybody about how great Republicans are. #1 murder rate in the country.
They don't want to talk about that. No, it's George Soros. It's his fault.
Oh, yeah.
It's Pete Buttigieg. It's his fault.
Oh, it's the Democrats. The Democrats, Louisiana.
Crazy. 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. Let's go back to Boston. Let's go to Chuck. Chuck, what's up?
Hey, Brian. I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, but this is my one of my Kennedy accents. When I return, Mary Jo and the car are gone.
Now do Robert F. Kennedy. Yeah, I did. I think we should do a lot I think there's all these bad colors in these foods. Mr. Kennedy, have you done anything about it? No, not yet, but I think we need to do these. We need to get rid of the vaccines. And listen, if you ever see a raccoon on the side of the road, make sure to cut off their genitalia. I think that was a mix of. I think that was a mix of Alex Jones and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm not a very good impersonator.
Yeah. All right, I just figured I'd throw that out there.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate
you.
anybody
That's
from
great.
Boston that could do a Kennedy impersonation. If anybody has any Robert F. Kennedy Jr. impersonations, I'd love to
Or
hear
other
those.
Trump officials. I'd
Yeah,
like to see more Trump officials.
I'm happy to take those phone calls. Sometimes we're lucky enough to have the First Lady call in.
Oh.
John DiDomenico is a friend of mine from the Howard Stern Show. He's the best Donald Trump impersonator in the world. When he comes on, it's gold. Maybe I'll ask him if he wants to come on tomorrow. All right, number to call if you want to be a part of the show. By the way, if you're a Trump supporter, if you're a MAGA mushroom gobbler, you're always welcome to call in. The conversations usually don't go very well for you, but you're more than welcome to call into the show. Hey, Brian, what do you think about that fraud in Minneapolis? That woman, that Somali woman. Oh, yeah, I think it's bad. I think it's terrible. I hope she gets prosecuted. What do you think about all the people that Donald Trump has pardoned that have committed billions of dollars in fraud? Why are you changing the subject?
The same thing that happened earlier, actually. You're talking about January 6th. She's like, mass immigration. Immigrants killed 1 million people. Like,
what are they talking about? How do you even talk to these people? They're so dumb. Oh my goodness gracious!
I swear to God, the immigration figure under Biden changes every couple months too. It gets bigger. You know, they said 8 million, then it was 12 million, then it was 15 million, then it was 20 million. Now it was 30 million.
They can't make up their mind, right?
Yeah, actually, they said it's 100 million because that's what I said.
It's kind of like the Trump ballroom. It went from 200 million to 400 million. Now it's $1 billion, and the taxpayers have to pay for it.
It's a math issue.
Yeah,
maybe we should make college free or something.
I don't know. Maybe they should. Maybe Vivek Ramaswamy was onto something when he said if you vote, you should have to take a basic civics test. But then 95% of people who voted for Donald Trump wouldn't be able to vote.
Maybe
that's a problem.
Funding schools at like $9,000 per child was not a very good idea in the red
Probably not. Let's get back to the phone call. 702-221-SAVE is the number to call again if you want to be a part of the show. 702-221-7283. Tommy is calling from Kansas City. What's up, Tommy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey.
I do want to say real quick, I had the fortunate opportunity of watching Derek Jeter's last game at Fenway.
How about that?
And Fenway is the most beautiful ballpark of the 12 that I've been to.
Best hot dogs in any ballpark, I would say. The hot dogs there are unbelievable.
I did not have a hot dog, but if I go back, I'll definitely have one.
Lindsey
So
Graham
I just
told me
wanted
the
to
hot
know-
dogs there are very, very good. Very good.
That's some experience.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so immature. Micah is like half my age, and he's like 10 times more mature than I am. It's very embarrassing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Makes for a good conversation.
Fair enough.
I just want to know your thoughts on the LA mayoral race with Spencer, and Karen, and Nithya. Like, just kind of, where's your thoughts on all that?
Micah, you go first. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, so I'd say I don't like Karen Bass. I think Karen Bass is one of those Democrats that I'm really like, oh, come on. You know, she said she was going to build more housing. Then she hasn't built anything. She's actually stood in the way of progress. We don't need Democrats like that. Gavin Newsom's, critiqued her. But you look at the Spencer Pratt guy, he doesn't know anything. He's like, oh, they're building all this housing. They're building too much housing. Listen, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, we're gonna put all of the homeless people in nature, and we're not gonna pay for it with taxpayers. We're just gonna put them in nature.
What does that
You
mean?
deport them into the forest? Like, what are you talking about?
He does have some ideas that are just kind of out there. But you can look at a list of politicians, though, that have no experience that have done well, too. I hope if he gets in, he does great for LA. But it's just like, if I was in LA myself, I don't know how I could vote for Karen Bass because of what has happened over the last.
What about you vote for Rahman? Vote for Rahman. In my opinion, I think Rahman is a much more serious person. She actually seems to understand housing. She wants to change some stuff.
Yeah.
Pratt seems like a crackhead, man. Like, I look at this, I always like to see the best in people. You know, that's me and Brian. That's one of our different things. I like to see the best of it. You're a Republican. I don't necessarily dismiss everything you say, but I've looked at his actual policies, and he's like, we're building too much housing. We need to stop building housing. It's like, wait, isn't it like Gil's biggest problem? I don't know.
I mean, there are certain people that I struggle to see the good in them. Like, I think of like a Matt Gaetz or a Lauren Boebert. I mean, she's really good at turning on men at Beetlejuice plays. But they're Nancy Mace. Like, these are just Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like I don't know, Gymnasium Jordan. Like, I can't think of one good thing I could say about Gymnasium Jordan. Like these are just, I think there are a lot of, maybe not a lot these days, but there are good Republicans out there. They're just afraid to come out and be themselves, unfortunately. I respected Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is a guy that I respect.
We all have a house together in LA.
Yeah.
Who do we look towards voting towards?
Rahman. I say it's Rahman. That she seems like the only actually, good option.
What about the gubernatorial race? I'm interested to get your opinions
that's
on
another
that.
thing. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that, sir. Let me ask you, what do you think about the gubernatorial race?
I haven't been watching it as much as I've been watching the mayoral race.
I think it's bad. I think it's bad. I think it's a bad.
I think Bianco's coming with some ideas.
Ugh, I'm not a fan
Gavin
of his.
I'm not a real big fan of his either.
Yeah.
Gavin, I mean, there's a lot of things that, you look at the last 4 years, I think it'd be tough for me to, if I lived in LA right now, to vote towards his direction. But that doesn't mean that I'm anti-Gavin at all. I'm trying to wait till the last minute, get as much idea, and just put my thoughts towards that. So I hate to go middle of the road there, but that's what I am. I will choose each side, whether it's Democrat or Republican.
Well, I can appreciate that. Go ahead, Micah. You wanted to?
Yeah. So I have some thoughts on this. I mean, I think Newsom actually in his first term, I disagree with him more. In his second term, he's done a lot in housing. This is the big thing I care about. I did a lot of advocacy for this in Texas. It's so hard to build a house in California. One of the reasons why the prices are so high, he signed like 50 bills that are really good if you look at it. And he's been fighting with these local governments like Karen Bass, actually. They've been fighting it out to try to force her to build more housing, also trying to work on the homelessness issue. Yeah. So I think that, he's done some good stuff. He's trying to expand a universal pre-K community college, make it more affordable people.
Micah, who's the guy who used to do a show on Fox News weekend show? Steve Hilton.
Yeah.
That guy is the biggest MAGA clown you could ever find. He just did an interview on MSNBC. He couldn't even say who won the 2020 election.
Yeah.
The fact that he's getting that type of polling numbers is so insane. I do believe if it was him versus Tom Steyer, I do believe Steyer would beat him, but I think it would be closer than people expect. But I think this guy Hilton is a complete imbecile.
My preferred person is Matt Mahan. I don't know if you've heard of him, but I think he's been a very good candidate. He's the mayor of, I believe, San Jose.
Was he up there on that debate stage? He was the younger gentleman who I thought had a really good debate.
He's really good. He's trying to actually lower some taxes. He's a Democrat, but he's very pragmatic, wants to be tough on crime. If you look at his city, they're the only city in California which has been bringing housing prices down and bringing homeless down a lot. And I think that he'd be a great governor.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Your last chance to call in. Let me give out that number one more time. 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. Let's go to Dan, who's calling next. Hi, Dan. What's going on?
Hey, guys. I just want to give Micah a compliment really quick. Micah, I don't really agree with you on many things, but I will say I think you are very well-spoken. I think you have a very good voice for radio.
Oh,
I agree.
So I want to give you your flowers there. And Brian, you got a face for radio, so there's that.
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you this, my friend. I'll tell you this, my friend. I do a lot of TV these days, so there are people that are starting to disagree with you. Sadly. I mean, whichever way you look at it,
he's
sir.
So beautiful. The cameras just find him.
I had a date with a lovely lady last night. It went very well, sir. Do you want the I don't know. Do you want me to go into the actual personal stuff about my date last night? I'd love to tell you, sir. Would you like to know how my date went last night?
I'm sure you would. I have a question for Micah, though.
Okay. Well,
sure.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. She said that this guy named Dan is going to call into the show tomorrow because he's very jealous of you and he pleasures himself to a poster of you every night before he goes to sleep. That was the lady I went out with last night. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry, Dan. I digress. I'm just joking. I know women don't go anywhere near you when you're single. Go ahead, sir.
I haven't heard that one before.
I bet you Micah, have. Go ahead.
Micah, so my question for you is, I've been getting more into the debate space, and I think it's really interesting being able to see, when people use, logical fallacies and when they're able to support an argument. And I would assume that you had seen, a lot of the people in the debate space, obviously Adam Mockler.
Are you on topic, sir? Are you talking
about Adam Mockler's debate coach? You know where it's going, buddy.
Yeah, I do. See, here's what he's doing. We have a MAGA supporter calling in.
Yeah.
And he thinks that we care.
Micah.
Hold on, Dan, hold on a second. He thinks that we care what he thinks about me debating. So he's trying to ask you a question about my debating because he thinks I care.
Is that where you were going?
Yeah, I know exactly. These people are so predictable. They're such buffoons.
Micah,
Dan, can I ask you?
Dan,
Can I ask you a question? Dan, can I ask you a question? Do you really think I care? My last bathroom visit means more to me than your opinion on anything I do. Do you understand that, Dan? Dan, don't come on me.
Your insecurity. Come on, man. Just let me ask a question.
Dan, what's it about, Brian? Was that what your question was about?
It was
because you're obsessed with me. You Trump mushroom gobbler, you're obsessed with me. Nobody cares what you think about anything. First you comment about my looks. No. You're obsessed with me. You're obsessed with me. First you comment about my physical attributes and looks because I grow on you like a fungus and you're obsessed with me. And then you want to ask my guest about my debating skills. Sir, let me tell you something. I'll give you this credit, okay, where credit is due. Your wife told me you're much better master debater than I am. Okay? I'll give you credit for that, sir.
South Park
Next time you call into this show, talk about something that actually means something, not some opinion you have about my debating skills. Oh, yeah, by the way, I get paid to do debates while during the day you use your little Trump fingers to call into the show to call me ugly. I think we know who's winning in life and who is losing. Have a nice day, sir. I knew that's where he was going. These people are so
That was
predictable.
actually pretty good on you predicting that. I didn't foresee that. But
Why else would you ask
your audience?
me that? Why else? By the way, I don't even know who that guy was, but I could just tell. Brian, you're ugly. You have a face for radio. Don't quit your J job, douchebag. Stephen is next. Oh, wow. This is an honor. We have Stephen Miller from the Trump administration that's calling into the show. Mr. Miller, thank you for calling in. How are you today, sir?
Yes, John. I would just like to say that the Mockler Mafia and these pushing the limits crew are nothing short than domestic terrorists.
True.
I agree, sir. I agree completely, 100%.
We have to do something with these radical leftists.
Violent insurrection. This is a violent insurrection. That's what he calls it.
Can I just say, I feel, Mr. Miller,
socialist,
Mr. Miller, you've got to stop talking from on. I just want to say, I feel so bad for your wife that she's got to be underneath you for 10 seconds. That's got to be the worst hell in the world, Mr. Miller.
Well, you know, she does have a very beautiful ear, but not as beautiful as yours, sir.
Wow. How is it sharing her with Elon Musk?
Is that true?
You know,
Stephen, is that true?
That's a very raw subject, and we shall not touch that today.
Okay, fair enough.
Podcast,
fair enough. Well, listen, Mr. Miller, I appreciate you calling in. It's certainly an honor. And I'm sorry, I'm going to tell these people to stop calling you little Nazi. I'm going to start having them called Nazi Junior. Is that okay?
That works for me. Just know that you are definitely on the list.
Okay, fair enough, Mr. Miller. I appreciate the call. Always a pleasure to have people from the Trump administration calling. We've got a lot of other callers on hold. I'm going to try to get somebody's calling in from Toronto. Wants to talk about January 6th. Jesse, what's going on?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
Am I on the air?
Yes, sir, you are.
Fuck.
Thank you very much for the phone call. I appreciate that. Another Trump mushroom gobbler, who, by the way, isn't from Toronto. He's probably from Texas, lives right next to Governor Abbott, I would imagine. Let's go to Jonathan. Jonathan is next. He wants to talk about the ballroom out of Pennsylvania. What's up, Jonathan? Lower your radio if you can. What's up, Jonathan?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the BS.
Got to lower your radio, my friend. Please.
We can hear the echo.
Lower your radio.
Okay. I got it down low now.
I'm sounding like Steve Fetterman when I talk. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead.
Okay. So I just wanted to talk about the BS ballroom.
Yes.
That Trump is building.
Yes, sir.
First, it was supposed to be $400 million that was going to be paid by corporate sponsors, which has all sorts of really nasty implications to it.
Correct.
Now the Republicans want to add $1 billion to it for security reasons and everything, and they want us taxpayers for it.
Right.
I am never going to step into that ballroom. I don't have the means, the connections, or whatever to step into that ballroom. That is for oligarchs and it's connections.
Right.
I'm sorry that I have to cut you off. It's not because I don't want your phone call. It's because we're running out of time, my friend. I hope you understand. Please call back tomorrow.
And you agree. It's about oligarchs. That's what the ballroom's about.
100% agree. Shelley says, I don't believe that lower level people from January 6th will see a dime. All of it will go to this rich buddies, but that's just me. Thank you, Shelley, for your YouTube super chat. Minnesota Vet, thank you for your very charitable donation. Says Trump's clemency for Medicare fraudsters includes Philip. as Forbes convicted of $205 million in Lawrence Duran. So he's right about that. Kathy, thank you so much for your generous donation. Says, isn't it ironic Republicans are itching to give January 6 traitors money are the same folks who bottled and hid from them like cowards while they were storming the Capitol? Hawley was doing the chicken run. Yeah, I remember that chicken run that Hawley did. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was absolutely embarrassing and insane. Thank you guys for your YouTube support chats. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. We'd love to get to some more callers, but we can't. How was your PTL experience?
That was great.
I hope you weren't too frightened.
No, it's great. It's great. Definitely a different style, get to learn, get to see your great audience. You have some iconic characters.
Most of my audience is great.
Yeah.
We have a few crazy people that
I'm just wondering, what do Republicans do whenever they're watching this show? They're just like banging their head on the wall. Like they're just getting owned and everything's bad for them.
Some of them are banging their head on the wall. And I think others are, as Numchuck is performing, faking an act. So you can think about what he was just doing. But I think some of them are very obsessed with me. So I think Numchuck might be onto something there. Not on something, onto something very different. But I think some of them are just obsessed.
Right.
Hey, Micah, what do you think about Brian Shapiro's debating skills? He's got a face for radio.
What do you think I was going to say? I was going to, oh, yeah, no, he sucks. Come on, man. Run his show. What are you talking about? Bro?
Wait, at least you got to tell him the truth. He does suck.
Suck at what? There's a lot of things in life I do suck at, by the way. There's a lot of things in life. There are a lot of things in life I definitely do suck at. Attacking MAGA is not one of them. I think I'm okay at that. But anyway,
bowling or
Mike,
something.
yes, give out your socials and everything before we
guys. MICAH_ERFAN. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. If you just look up my name, I'm the only Micah Irfan around. So you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, any platform you're on. I promise to God, I'm there too.
I so appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Gonna be hanging out with some friends on the Strip tonight. Mike has never been on the Strip, so we got to show him a good time on the Strip tonight. And then tomorrow we're back at it on a Friday, everybody. So I really do appreciate you doing the show with me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great.
I really do appreciate it. All right, everybody. As we leave you with a lovely picture of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the raccoon that he sodomized. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.